Multifamily Mindset.
Podcast.
Think bigger. Aloha, my friends, and welcome to the Multifamily Mindset podcast. Here for another Aloha Friday episode with Jackson Campbell. My name's Tyler Deveraux, and dude, I'm pumped to be back recording an episode and ready to just, blow your minds with some valuable shit today.
Dude, I'm
actually real quick.
Yeah?
I apologize.
You good?
I'm not going to cuss today. Paxton.
Okay, you're not
told
going
me-
to. That's a definite.
I just said shit, so that one doesn't count. I don't even know if
You're
that's
gonna,
really a
how
swear
about you're gonna try not to with all of your efforts?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to know why?
Why?
At dinner last night, Paxton tells me that he woke up in the middle of the night and started to watch YouTube. He was going to watch like hitting tutorials.
Drills, yeah, okay.
And then saw my videos pop up, and he's like, I started to watch your videos, and you swear on your videos. And I was like, oh. So, you know what? We're going family-friendly mode, y'all, because
PG.
I went in the doghouse immediately with Brittany. That
Uh-oh.
is a lonely house for this dog.
Oh, see, here's the thing, Pax. That's me saying those words, not your dad.
Yeah. Amen, dude.
No, just kidding. That's funny though. That's funny. Obviously,
crazy.
Pax is growing up, gonna see some of those things, learn some of those words, bro, and that's where you come in as the dad to take care of those things and teach those things, because I have no idea.
There we go.
No, but today we're gonna
Yes.
actually talk about a topic that is in line with teaching your kids almost.
With everything.
Definitely, with everything, for
Yeah.
sure. So I'm excited, definitely excited to talk about what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about one of the key components to success, and that key component being sales. But before we do that, before we dive in, just want to give everybody a quick rundown of the growth of the Multifamily Mindset podcast, as we have rebranded and changed names here. But Monday through Thursday, we've got Dallas Pruitt for the Daily Drips, very powerful episodes. Definitely tune into those. And then on Friday, you've got myself and Tyler Deveraux for these Aloha Friday episodes where we dive in. If you're new here, thank you for tuning in. We're very grateful and happy to have you here. But Ty, let's dive in here, bro. One of the key components to success being sales. One of the very first things that I've learned from you is sales and the importance of sales and the true meaning of sales. So I'm super excited to dive into this because it really does shape your perspective in a very cool way that not a lot of people have that perspective when it comes to sales. But first, why do you believe that this is so important?
Sales?
Yeah.
Well, like you said, so I would like to take it a real estate lane. But like you said, man, it's high-level communication. And that is like I remember when you said that a long time ago, and I just honed in on it. But that's what sales is. And if you think about it, like that is a key component to everything we do, whether you're a parent, a spouse, literally anything we do. But if you look at the real estate vein, right? Every deal, you think about this, all real estate deals in the history of time have happened because of a conversation.
Yeah.
Because of a conversation, whether that's with brokers, sellers, investors, whatever. And if there's not an effective conversation, well, then there's no deal. So I accredit, dude, a large portion of my success to just the foundational skills that I've learned throughout my lifetime. And I'm just going to hone in with one thing, because people will say, well, I don't like selling, or I don't want to sell. And if you don't like selling, that means, listen to me, if you don't like selling, that means that you don't like helping people make decisions to help themselves. That's what it is. It's one of the most highly valuable skills out there. In fact, dude, I just listened to this episode from Alex Hormozi. Shout out to him. I love his content, by the way. Great content. And I think the episode was something along the lines of the 4 highest value skills that exist on earth, or something like that. Maybe it was in business, something like that. There's 4 of them that he gave. The number 1 was the ability to raise and multiply money. So raise money that happens via sales. And leadership. And then multiplying money is obviously the other aspect, which comes from leadership, strategy, those kind of things. So this skill set is so valuable. In fact, if you were to ask me the 3 most important characteristics of a business owner: sales, leadership, and then the ability to scale a business.
strategy.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So it impacts everything that we do. And I can already tell you right now that we'll go through some of the frameworks and things that we use, but I believe that this should be a multiple part series if you're okay with it.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, because sales is such a huge aspect of everything. You just highlighted so many different aspects and so many different things we can go down. So yeah, for sure. Let's chop this one up. I think I know how we can chop this one up, but we'll get there. We'll get there along the episode on how I believe we can do it.
Okay.
And it'd be very, very, very strategic. One thing before we dive in here, I want to ask a question. But I loved how you were talking about all deals in real estate have happened due to a conversation.
Yeah.
And if there's not an effective conversation, there's no deal.
Yep.
So it's what does that effective conversation look like, right? And that's the sales that we'll talk about. I'm excited to dive into that effective conversation. What does that look like,
Yes.
and how do we make sure that we are having an effective conversation?
And I believe that obviously every conversation is different. I know you know this, but like every conversation is different. But honestly, man, the framework or really the guide, if you will, that I use for most of my conversations, it is like the guide is there. The framework is there.
It's almost like a map.
Yes.
It's like a
map.
map.
Is a great way to put that.
Yeah. Dude, awesome. Excited to dive in here. So, Ty, how would you define sales? Let's start there. How would you define sales? Like one of the things you said just now is if you don't like sales, it's because you don't like helping people.
Yeah. Okay. So first off,
So like, what do you mean by that?
I got a sales job in my early 20s. What's funny about that, bro, is it's kind of a source of embarrassment for me because I looked at sales as convincing people to buy things that they didn't need. That's literally how I viewed it. Mm-hmm. But you know what's interesting about that is I had just been on a 2-year church mission where I was pretty much selling people all day on like the gospel of Jesus Christ. Like that's what I was doing. Like that's sales, dude. It's high level communication. And so I'll tell you, maybe I'll reverse it. I'll tell you what sales isn't, dude. Contrary to popular belief, sales is not about convincing people of anything. You're not trying to convince people of anything. It's just the opposite. It's to help people get the results that they're looking for. Make decisions to help themselves, like I said earlier, right? So that's what sales is. So we get what we want by helping other people get what they need. I'm gonna
Say that one more time.
repeat it. We get what we want by helping other people get what they need. It's service-based. Like in my early 20s, I saw that the top people in the industry, it wasn't convincing. It was service-based. And there's a couple key people that I learned from. Judd Tolman, who's part of this organization and multifamily investor now. He's I learned a ton from Judd.
Shout out Judd.
Scott Hoffman, Boyd Hoffman, Darius Moore, all these people Chad Lawson, like all these people that taught me so much about like literally serving and connecting and communicating with others. And then what's crazy, and I mention this all the time, but then I find out later that sales actually comes from the Scandinavian word sala, which means to serve. So it really is, when done correctly, is service, man. It's service.
It really is.
Yeah, with the right intentions, it's service.
Yeah.
Meaning the intention is about the other person. If the intention is just about you, well, then it's selfish, not service.
Right. Do you have a good example of this? Do you have an example that you could share?
Of
sales being service.
Yes, dude. I'll give you an example. So I'm working with this company called Brand Builders. Okay. So I'll use an example. Instead of me giving you an example of when I sold the service, I'm going to give you an example of when I was sold via service.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm working with this company called Brand Builders. The founder's name is Rory Vaden. If you go look up any of his stuff, they are awesome. They've worked with people. I mean, tons of people, man. Ed is one of them. That's actually where I heard about them in the beginning, was Ed. Ed Milet's one of, I'm part of a mentorship group that he's a part of. And I'm obviously I'm very curious of how to build a brand. And you know this because you've been in from the very beginning. It's always like, what is the best approach here?
Yeah.
So I started working with this company, and it's an online, like they have all these online courses, and then you can do some in-person live events as well. And I've invested
Good save.
the whole close to $70K over the span of a few months at this point. Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you, or the question may be like, why have you invested that much in that short amount of time? And it's I would say twofold, okay? One, because what they provide is very valuable. And number two is they are the epitome of the framework that I'm going to walk you through. Two people in particular, my two people that I work with are Ben and Larissa, and they're amazing people. And this framework that I'm going to walk you through, and maybe I'll just explain what they did as we go through the framework, if that's cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we just highlight the framework. But
Yeah.
the framework is based off of an acronym that I use, which is SELLS. Okay, and SELLS. So S is switch places. A is assess the need. L is locate the pain. E is embrace the objections, and then S is we solve it together. So, any questions before I dive into that?
No, dude, that's awesome. I think that's huge. Maybe let's just say it one more time. So SELLS, the framework of SELLS is an acronym. Breaking it down, the S is for switch places, the A is for assess the need, the L is for locate the pain, the E is for embrace objections, and the S is for solve together. Before you dive in here and use this example with Larissa and Ben and how they went through this in selling you, maybe that's how we break down each episodes moving forward. Maybe we make a series out of this and we break down each acronym. Switch places, what does that mean? How do we do that?
Done.
And we do that with each one of these things.
And get nitty-gritty on the granular details of how to do that.
Yeah,
I love it. Bro.
Let's do that. We'll break down these next Aloha Friday episodes on that SELLS acronym. I think it'll be super powerful.
We lead into it. I just want you to understand the state that we're in the real estate market. Just to really preface this for you. Just in case that you think that this doesn't apply to you, it does. And once again, not just if you're in the real estate market, it's literally anything that you do. These are the conversations that I have with a Paxton, with a Marley, even with a Brittany, don't tell her. Well, what's crazy is it's second nature now. Like in my mind, I'm not thinking through the acronym. It's just like it is second nature because I've done it so many times.
Right.
But I want you to understand who wins in a recessionary state. The individuals who win in a recessionary state are those individuals who, so there's lower amount of deal flow and there's lower amount of capital. But those people that are selling are people who have problems. And so they're some of the best deals you'll ever come across. We've all heard this before. We've heard like, man, the best deals you buy are in a recessionary state. But if we all know this, we've heard this, why don't more people buy in recessionary states? Because they don't have the capital to do that. And why? It's because they don't know how to have high-level effective communication, to instill confidence in people, to help them invest their money and get them what they need so you can get what you want as well. Right?
Yeah.
So I'll lead into it this way, okay?
Love it.
Ben and Larissa, I'm having a follow-up conversation with them. Once again, at this point, I've spent, invested a good chunk of money with them.
Yeah.
And I get on this phone call, and they switch places. And I know this now. After the whole conversation, I actually was like, man, what they just did is beautiful. It was beautiful. But they switched places, right? And once again, I just want to say this, like before I lead into the example. Everyone has a different perspective. Everybody. And it's very challenging, man. Sometimes when we go into a conversation, we think that we're the only ones who need and or want something. And so it's very challenging to remove your preconceived notion and just go in blank.
Yeah.
But the more that we're able to do that and then ask questions to really understand, if we're switching places, to really understand what their viewpoint is from that place, their place, dude, the more value that we'll be able to provide.
Yeah.
And paint this picture. I'm on the phone with Ben.
Can I challenge you on just one thing you just said
Please.
there that I think is awesome. I love how you said you go into those conversations blank, and set your preconceived notions on the side. I almost think it's tied. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but instead of even going into that conversation blank, you go into that conversation with what you just went over when it comes to sales and service. You go into that conversation with the compassion and the want to serve.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
No,
it's like you obviously that's in the back of your mind, but if you're going into the conversation with that type of energy or that type of purpose, it's going to help you get there a lot faster.
That 100%. Yeah. That's your intention.
Totally.
100% that's your intention. And what I say is blank slate. I mean, you can do some research. You have maybe a basic understanding of what they need.
Sure.
But when I say remove your preconceived notion, it's like, what I mean by that is sometimes what we think they need is actually not what they need.
Yeah.
And we only get there by really, truly switching the places and see it from their position. Right?
So good. So good.
Thank
you for letting me throw that in there.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Yeah. So what they did, Ben and Larissa, I get on the phone call and Ben's like, hey, man, I noticed that we'd had an in-person session. Then he's like, hey, man, I noticed that you haven't watched any of the videos. Like, what's funny is we have an education program. We have a whole online section, and I rip people
for not doing that.
But he's like, I noticed that you haven't watched the videos. I was like, I have not. But he's like, so what I noticed in our in-person session, This is the conversation he's having with me. What I noticed in our in-person session is that you are fully immersed, man. So what I see from this is that you're the type of person who thrives in an immersion type setting. So what he just did there, by the way, is, and it's not anything that, well, maybe we'll get, but he used a positive label. It's called labeling, okay? He labeled, and because once you use a positive label and that person agrees to the label, it always has to be positive, by the way, man. Way too many people try to use a negative label. It's not how you do it. It's a positive label. And then once I agree to this, once again, I am somebody who thrives in an immersive setting, because I am. It's very hard for me to go back from that. It's very hard. So, meaning, because then I'm challenging what I said about myself,
right?
And it's also what I believe about myself.
Yeah.
So it's a positive label, but that they can truly identify with, right? That's what he did to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am somebody who learns in that setting. He's like, well, listen, and he walks me through. He's like, what if we removed this, did more in-person settings? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, okay, cool. Like if we did something like that, it'd be about another 15, 20K. I'm like, awesome. No, yes, sweet. That's like, I love it. And then we hang up. I send over the card details and we get it done. And I think about it like literally a day later, and I was like, wow. Because I felt like he truly saw it from my perspective. I did not feel like he was trying to sell me anything. He truly switched places, knew that I was a busy owner of multiple companies, knows that it's challenging, that I value time, because I value time heavily. I value time. And he knows that if we can do an immersive setting, I'll be able to amplify, do the execution of the things I need to do to continue to build the brand. It would cost more, but that cost, that investment, I believe that the return far outweighs the cost. Well, now he's in Maui, and we're talking about this. And he was telling me that he was nervous to have that phone call because he's like, man, I didn't want you to just feel like I was selling you something. But I really truly felt like that could probably be what's best for you. And so I really was thinking about your situation. Like, man, how should I go about? That's what he did. What did he do? He switched places. He asked questions. So number two, let's get to number two. Number two is assess the need, or A, I guess, right? Is assess the need. He assessed my need. My need was I needed to take these steps in the quickest way possible. I needed to go from A to Z, if you will, in the quickest way possible. And that my biggest pain point, which, by the way, is coming down the line too, but assess the need first off, is like I need to build this brand. I need to get those things done. And in order for him to figure out what that would look like, he didn't focus on what his needs were. He focused and asked questions around what I needed. That's what Ben did. And then what he did is he showed me how he could help me get there. It's powerful.
So powerful.
But by the way, that's not manipulation.
No.
Because some people look at that. I believe some people look at that as manipulation. You're painting this person. No, dude. His intention is to help me. Mm-hmm. And once again, I just want you to think about this. I'm grateful to pay the money because I know the result that money will get me to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense.
Okay.
What I love here too is like what Ben did as well is he painted the picture for you. Everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
And it was reality.
Oh yeah.
It was reality. You didn't get through these courses. You didn't get through the online education. You did really well at the immersive one, and we got a ton out of it. So you're just painting this picture of reality.
Yep.
And then in the end, he essentially gave you the options of like, okay, we're all on the same page here. We know what we're dealing with. Now let's figure out the best solution to get you what it is that you're looking for. And that's what he did.
Which is the framework, bro.
Which, Which, as we're breaking
Switch
it down.
places.
Yeah.
Right? He asked questions to assess the need.
Amazing.
And then locates the pain. Mm-hmm. What was my pain? Well, my pain was that building the brand is very important. And the pain is that I have limited amount of time. That's my pain. Mm-hmm. So he spends time asking questions to locate that pain, to understand that is truly an actual pain point. And it's important. Listen, it is important for all of you to recognize that all of us, most people that you're about to talk to, they're dealing with some sort of pain. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that sales and service is because if what you provide can help remove some of that pain or solve some of that pain, massively valuable. Like most people lack true happiness because they lack in 3 major items. Number 1, true human connection. True human connection. I believe that's the purpose of life.
Agree.
Number 2 is meaningful pursuits, and number 3 is growth. And I say those things because I want to help you understand where my pain point was within this specific area. Well, growth. I needed to make sure that I'm growing the brand. I needed it. And if I were to spend the time solo going through the courses like I needed to go through, yes, it would have cost me less money, but that wasn't my pain. My pain was if I would have done that, my growth would have been slower, and it would have removed time for me to have true human connection with other people that I want to have true human connection with.
Right.
So by offering me a solution that, yes, it costs more money, but it actually helped me grow quicker and then have time to truly have a human connection with other people.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. Yes. So essentially one of the, again, just kind of pulling out more of these things, what Ben did is he painted the picture for you of what you needed.
Oh yeah.
To make the best decision.
Yep.
Right? If those 3 things are the major items and most important items, being human connection, meaningful pursuits, and growth, by offering you a solution that he had that, yeah, it costed money, you were able to solve that problem that you had and that pain.
Totally.
That you were feeling.
Yep.
That's so good. So what was your biggest pain, right? Your biggest pain going into that was?
Well, all those things I mentioned. But that was for that specific thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, if you were to ask me, like, what's my biggest pain right now, period, it's probably the same, man. It's like I need to grow at a rapid pace. I need to grow our businesses at a rapid pace. And the reason I say that I value time is, and I value money too, but money isn't necessarily what I'm lacking. It's time, dude. It's time. Like, I'll be very, I'll be a little vulnerable with you, but what we do is hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
growth
definitely.
is hard, and running these businesses is hard. And I will tell you that you'll hear me talk about time with family and being there. And that drives me more than I can even tell you. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you a learning lesson that I had this year is I was very busy during baseball season, Paxton's baseball season. And meaning I traveled a lot, lots of stuff going on, traveled a ton. And I saw that I wasn't able to put the extra time. I don't even know why I'm going down this route.
No.
But, dude,
Because it's
what
important.
does go in line?
It's important.
I wasn't able to spend the time that I wanted with Paxton before the season to help him get confident in, playing.
Yeah.
At the level that I know he can play at. And even during the season, dude. And I saw that affect him as he was playing, that his confidence wasn't as high as I knew that it could be had I been there to do the things that I know I can help him with. And, bro, the guilt that creates is huge.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
So I just want, I guess I paint that picture because Ben comes in and Larissa. Just my conversation was with Ben, but Ben and Larissa both brainstormed about the solution. So Larissa, I don't want to leave you out of this. I know that you probably are the one who had the idea. Ben's just taking credit for it, dude. But understand how valuable that is to me. Super valuable that they can provide solutions in line with that, right?
Yeah. And that is like, again, coming back to the true meaning of sales.
Yeah.
It's service. Yeah. It's to help. It's to take care of, right? It's to like really to provide something to somebody that's going to make their life easier in what it is that they're trying to accomplish.
Yep.
Essentially, like sales is a meaningful job. It's a meaningful thing that you could do for somebody.
Yes.
I know we've talked about sales multiple times, and I truly believe that the best salespeople are customer service people.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. They take care of people. They serve. That's what they're doing, is they're serving people all the time.
Totally.
And if they're weaponized properly, they could probably sell massive amounts of things as well, right? Because that's what is really behind sales. It's serving and providing solutions. And if you can't afford that, why can't you afford that? Let's figure that out so that this solution can be provided for you, dude. It's a powerful thing, man. Dude. So from locate pain.
Well, can I say one more thing?
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, bro.
If you don't feel like that, dude, then you're selling the wrong thing. If you don't feel like that, you're selling the wrong thing. It's like when I talk to an investor, right? I mean, I just went to an investor lunch this week. And I mean, I talk to investors all the time, but just went to an investor lunch this week. And dude, I'm freaking passionate about what we do, dude. But you want to know why I can speak with the conviction that I speak with? It's because it's in line with who I truly am.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm telling this individual, no, man, this is what we do. This is how these deals are structured. This is how we go about it. This is what I'm telling him what I do with my money. Anything I make actively, I put in passively. It's like, so if you're not that passionate about what you do, and I'm just obviously talking about a raising money side, but it's like, well, it's a transference of belief. So if your belief is limited, well, then your ability to transfer a belief into that person will be very limited. And so individuals who, if you're trying to raise money but you've never invested into deals, well, you need to figure out how to enhance your belief. One way is to invest in deals, first off.
Yep.
But you need to enhance your belief to truly become that person that believes that, man, I feel sad when people don't have what we offer.
Yep.
On all sides of all companies. And dude, if I didn't, then what's going to be time to pivot, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I love where you just went with this just now. Because a lot of people will think I need a job. It's going to pay me really well, but I don't like the product that I'm serving or that I'm using, and that I wouldn't even use this product. Well, what do you say to those people?
That I would. It's a very scarcity mentality. You stay in that job.
Yeah.
You will be unfulfilled, and you know what's going to happen? You're going to deteriorate your internal credibility, which is a big deal, by the way.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing something and selling something that you don't believe in, dude, your self-trust is going to diminish.
Right.
What you're really doing, effing yourself over for the future, for future pursuits.
Yes.
Because once again, you're deteriorating yourself from the inside out.
Yes.
So no, dude, there's plenty of opportunities out there for you, great ways for you to make money in a million different directions. Find one that makes sense for you and that is in line with what you truly believe in.
Yes.
Believe in.
Yes. Yes, dude. Because it all comes from that. It all stems from that first, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't believe in it and you're not doing it, the energy that you're putting out there, that momentum and whatever it is you're putting out there, that scarcity that you're putting out there, that's what's going to come back to you.
Yeah.
Whether you believe that or not. That's the law. What is that? Isaac Newton's law or whatever. What energy you put out, it comes back.
Yeah. I don't know if it's Isaac.
I don't know. I don't know what
but
it is, dude. I can't
Yep.
remember, right? But essentially that's what it is.
It is.
That's what happens there, dude. So that's so good. One
Bro.
thing that I just want to add on to that really quick, bro, is if you don't love what it is that you're doing, a lot of the times your perspective needs to change. Right? Love is like good, bad. That's all subjective. So if we're in charge of what it is that we love, what we think is good, what we think is bad, then you have that ability to change your focus and find something that you do love in what it is that you might be struggling right now. So if there is like a center core missing piece to whatever it is that you're doing and it just doesn't align with you ethically, morally, and your values, that's one thing. But if you're just kind of tired of going to work and you're getting sick of it and you're not wanting to do it anymore because it's getting monotonous, that's on you.
Yeah.
To change that perspective. And if, like I said, if good, bad, happy, sad, and all that is subjective to your perception of it, change your perception and figure out a way to love what it is that you do.
Yes.
Because that's up to you.
I agree with that, bro. Wholeheartedly agree with that. I love that. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
won't drill down any more on that. I was gonna take it down a route, but we can take it down a route another time.
Yes, dude. Dude. I love that. We can definitely we'll jump back into that for sure when we break down this acronym. Okay, dude. So we got to embrace objections. We got all the way down through this example through locating the pain. Now we're on to E.
Yeah.
Embrace objections.
Which if you have effectively switched places with this person, you'll begin to understand some questions, objections, just hesitancies that they have. Don't run from those things, dude. Literally embrace.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Siri, what's the definition of embrace?
As a verb, embrace means hold someone closely in one's arms, especially as a sign of affection. Do you want to hear the next one?
Well, this is a horrible decision.
Well, I don't think that is necessarily a horrible horrible definition.
To hold somebody in one's arms.
Regular occupation
To close to you.
or trade.
I actually am.
Want to hear the next one?
No, Siri. Be quiet over there. Thank you for your help, though. Embrace. Okay. I really like to look this shit up, dude.
No, but I really like the word embrace and how Siri just told us it's to hold it close to you, and it's to bring it inward. It's like Siri basically. I'm sure our listeners couldn't hear what Siri just said, but Tyler asked Siri, "What does embrace mean?" And it basically said, "Give him a hug." Right? That's basically what Siri said, was hold them tight with your arms. Right? But if you're embracing somebody's
Yes.
objections, you're holding them true to yourself.
Yes.
You're trying to embody those objections, but also be that solution-based oriented person to come up with the solutions for those objections. And if you really, the only truly way that you can do that is by embracing them and truly like trying to feel their pain and feel what it is that they're going through.
Yes. I love it, dude. So here's what it says. The act of accepting or supporting something willingly and enthusiastically. That's so important, right? Because like we switch places, we assess the need, we locate the pain, and then we embrace this. Like, okay, there's just because we see the need and we understand the pain and we know that once again we're about to go through some solutions to solve together, but there's still going to be some objections. I want you to understand when we like embrace those, that means that those questions and those doubts and those concerns and those objections, whatever you want to call them, those are actually good things, dude. If they didn't have those things, well, and if they didn't have any concerns, they would just be like, they just end the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they have those concerns, or when they actually have interest, they're just concerned or have fear or whatever it is about taking action upon the interest or the need that they have.
That's so good.
So why is it service once again? Well, now you can come in and help them solve it, right? So knowing what their objections are, or at least an idea of what those may be, and then being confident enough to embrace them. Like, it would put you into a league of your own. You just saw me do this within the network, right?
Yeah,
We had some objections.
we did.
And I jumped on a coaching call.
Yeah.
And did I avoid them?
Nope.
I embraced them, dude.
Yep.
I fully embraced them.
Yeah.
And then, like, to my freaking core, wanted to show them how to solve them. Not to solve them. So can we get it into?
Yeah, let's do it.
By the way, I call that, anybody who's been to my classes, and we'll get deeper into this when we break down the stuff, but I call it a response block. And they're highly effective. I'm not trying to block someone's response. In fact, dude, I care so much about their response, their concern, their question, that I want to cover it and bring it up before they even have to bring it up.
Yeah.
Because some people will be too timid to even bring it up. So I just want to nail it on the head, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then we solve it together.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, this critical component, because once we have this ammunition, a lot of the times we just want to go in and just solve it. But we solve it together. We don't push our idea on somebody. If you're pushing your idea on somebody, there's going to naturally just be this resistance. There needs to be a push and pull. What is far more challenging, but also far more effective, is to guide them to discover the solution on their own. And that way, they believe it. They trust it. They get excited about it. They get excited about it, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's their idea at that point.
Yeah.
If they're solving it, then it's their idea, and they know that it is what they. It's not even selling at that point. It's literally helping them solve their problems and bringing in that other piece, whatever it is, to help them solve what it is that they need to solve, dude. It's so good. So Ty, just real quick overview as we break this down here. Again, I just want to highlight the acronym one more time. The acronym of SELLS being S, switch places, A, assess the needs, L, locate the pain, E, embrace objections, and S, solve them together. Like you said, Ty, this is a blueprint for when you're just trying to communicate something, whether that be to your kids, whether that be to your spouse, whether that be to your friend, whether that be to a coworker. If you're trying to communicate something, if you're trying to get across another perspective that's important that they're just not seeing, this is the exact same framework that you walk through with somebody.
Totally.
So like whether you're trying to sell somebody a product or help them see another perspective to help them make a better decision, This is that framework to be able to do it, and it's so powerful. Real quick, before I send it right back over to you, I can understand, T, why people don't like sales.
Well, how come?
Because, dude, there are individuals who use this same type of framework for bad reasons.
Sure.
To sell, they use this framework in a lying way to get people to take action towards things that aren't going to actually benefit them.
Sure.
Right? So like when people are like, when sales might make you clinch up or cringe a little bit, like I don't want to do sales, I can understand why. But it comes back down to one of the things that we first talked about at the beginning, and that's that intention behind why it is that you're doing what you're doing.
Sure.
And having that service-oriented mind behind what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're selling or trying to communicate.
Can I give you my spin on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's these sides here, right? If you're somebody who believes that, well, then you are doing the opposite of taking ownership of your life. What I mean by this is if somebody sells me something, it's because I made the decision to buy it.
Right.
It's not because they use these deceptive sales tactics.
True.
If that's the case, then I'm just a victim.
Yeah.
Just a poor, helpless little victim.
Sure.
That's just waiting for somebody to just F me over at any turn. Dude, no, I am the creator of circumstance, dude. I take ownership for my life. If somebody sold me, you know why they did that? Because I didn't know what I wanted. And I was hoping that they would tell me what I should have. It's my fault, not theirs. I literally believe that. On the flip side of that, if you truly believe that that is the case and that there's people out there who do that, which I'm sure there are, all the more reason why we need people like you who actually have better intentions to go serve other people. And just for the record, if you don't help people make the decisions that they need to help themselves, well, then those people that you fear are going to prey on them. Mm-hmm. So your only solution is to go and sell people.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I wrap up that last point?
Yes.
The S, the solve together.
Yes.
Ben and Larissa didn't tell me what I should do at this point. They weren't like, hey, this is what you should do, which is so easy to do as a parent, so easy to do as it's like we know what they need to do. It's like, as a leader, I'm just telling you, like a lot of times I'm like, you do this. And if we're being honest, it's something that I need to be better at because sometimes I just get impatient. For real. But they didn't tell me. What they did is they actually relinquished control. They're like, anyway, here's the options. They painted this picture, if you will, right? Here's the options. And then what do? Well, I choose the one that's most serving, which is the one that gets me to where I'm looking to go, right?
Right.
I make the decision. I made it. They didn't try to make the decision for me. They didn't try to pigeon me in. And that will work way better than you ever trying to push. That type of sales tactic doesn't work as it can still work, but it doesn't work as effectively as the one that we're talking about.
No
you
way.
Relinquish control, man. You've created this fence, you've created this options of things and then you let them make the decision. It's less about, then they still might begin to ask you questions at that point, but it's less about challenging you and more about counseling with you. Once again, service, right?
And yeah, dude. And if you do it that way, it also gives you the ability to take every conversation with extreme ownership. They don't make the decision that could have benefited them. They didn't buy whatever product. They didn't understand your point of view. If you go at it about this way, you're not left asking the question, what didn't they understand? You are asking that question, but it's not on them. It's not like why didn't they understand me? It's more of how did I not say it in the proper way for them to be able to understand me.
Totally.
It's not why didn't they understand me? It's what didn't I do properly for them not to be able to see.
Or it's just an abundance side of like, man, we're not trying to attract everyone. We're trying to attract the right one.
Yeah.
And so at the end of that, it's like, man, all you can do is your best. And if you do your best, that's enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you do your best, that's enough. If you do your best, every outcome is the necessary outcome. Right? So it's like, then you get to the end of that, it's like, well, it wasn't a fit. That's okay. You don't have to have animosity with that person. There doesn't need to be this weird, dude, it's still service, love, positivity. It's like you want what's best for them.
Right.
When I go in to have an investor conversation, I don't want to, like my intention sincerely is not to go in and be like, I want this person to invest. My intention is for them to invest. No. My intention is to give them the information to make it as easy as possible for them to make a decision, yes or no.
Yeah.
That's literally my intention. My intention is to help them, dude, be weaponized with information that can better their lives.
Yep.
And if we offer that solution that's fit, cool. If we don't, man, refer them other places. It's like you don't need to jeopardize your relationship, man. If you feel like you do, you're doing it the wrong way.
And you're not selling the right product, or
and you're focusing on you.
You're not pushing the right thing to that person.
Yep.
Regardless. Dude, it's so good. It's so good. Tyler, thank you. I'm excited to break down these next episodes, man.
Me too.
And really dive into the granular here. We covered a lot. And
I'll tell you this, that you will learn a ton.
I'm excited about it.
You'll learn a ton, man. It's something I'm very good at, something that I understand at a deep, deep level. There's a reason why when I go speak, teach, and sell at a 3-day training, one of our 3-day trainings is an example that we do as a team as well as we do. Think about this. From the front of the room, I am evangelical because, bro, it's what I do on a day-to-day basis that's absolutely changed the trajectory of my life. So is my team. It's the same thing. Dude, they're evangelical about it because it's the same thing for them. It's like there's a reason that happens. But there's also a reason that happens because it's more than just passion. It's actually being able to harness that passion and being able to help this other person with their passion and make sure it's a fit for them. And then some of the most loving, caring, the people that I go out and do those with, some of the most loving, caring people out there, service-based people out there. It's no secret that, we have the success that we do. And so we're very good at it. And you're very good at it.
Thank you.
You are.
I'm pumped to dive into this and even learn more about it, dude. Pumped.
Yeah, well, ditto. So I'm pumped.
This is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome, man. Awesome. Ty, as we kind of wrap up this episode, Hawaiian value, do you have one that you want to kind of throw in here in line with sales?
Kapua'a. Kapua'a, I think is how you pronounce it. But it means set boundaries. And I'll explain why that's important. All right, so ku literally means to stand, and then pa'a means firm or solid. So kapua'a means to stand firm. But kapua'a also means steadfast, immovable, constant, determined, faithful. Okay, and when we live the value of kapua'a, we stand strong. And the reason that that's important is this is only possible if our decisions are based out of truth and service. When I go into a conversation and I have lived this value of kapua'a, I don't need to change what I believe in. Just because somebody else doesn't believe that this is a good fit for them, that doesn't mean that it is not an awesome product, an awesome fit for many. It doesn't affect me mentally if some person doesn't want to. I'll give you an example, man. This last event that I did, we have a team meeting every day 2. Mm-hmm. And one of the conversations was X person doesn't, they didn't like me, essentially. They didn't believe I was sincere. They didn't believe, okay, well, if you were to hear that, or most people, if you were to hear that, you'd be like defensive, or it would hurt your, it would hurt your feelings a little bit. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't like, what the fuck? Yeah. But then that quick, it's like, no, dude, I know who I am. I know what my intention is. I know what, it's 1 out of 160 people in the room. So it's like, when you really put things into perspective, dude, you don't need to push anyone. What you need to do is present opportunities and with confidence of what those opportunities are. And then people will make the decision on their own. Mm-hmm. And those people, when they make those decisions on their own, well, dude, that's a benefit for them because now they're taking ownership of that decision. Yes. They're taking ownership. So stand firm, dude. Once again, but that's only possible if your decisions are based out of truth and service, man. Yeah. Truth and service. Yeah. So kapua'a, live that thing. Set some boundaries.
So good, dude. Even if you want to be really good, just a little extra tidbit, extra little thing to throw in here. If you want to be really good, instead of pushing people, right? Like you're saying, you don't have to push people. If you want to be really good and you live with these boundaries, you stand firm and you stand solid when you're not working, when you're just living your life. Yeah. And you stand strong, you stand firm in those values that you have, that you will not even be more happy and find that inner peace, but you will start to attract the correct people to you
Yes.
to be able to, if you're selling something, if you're trying to be able to communicate an idea or get something out, you'll be able to attract the right people to you. So then it's not even sales whatsoever. Anybody's even thinking of sales. It's collaboration at that point.
Yes.
The right people are coming to you for you to be able to provide what it is that you have for them to help them get where they're trying to go, right? So being that person to put yourself in the correct state to be able to provide people with those solutions, that's just another level of sales, of service, of communication for sure.
Yeah, being confident enough to be who you are. How many times have we had conversations
So
where
many times.
a marketing, script or a marketing, and we're like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
No, because it's not in line. It's like, it's not, I don't like, and you are very good at like just having those conversations with me, and it's powerful. And then what ends up happening is you don't limit yourself. You actually, it's the opposite of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Tyler, thank you so much, bro. Anything else as we
No,
wrap
dude,
up
I'm excited
here?
to break this down.
Me too.
And once again, man, if you are looking to thrive in a recessionary state, which better be every one of you. If not, please do not follow us anymore on this podcast. Man, these next few episodes are going to be extremely powerful to you, man, for sure.
Very excited.
And
very
then one more
excited.
thing I just want to drill home as we ended up is, I don't think I swore. Did I swear?
No, it was me. If there was any swear words, it was me.
Paxton, sorry, buddy. That was Uncle Jay. Hey, y'all. So once again, man, stand firm and steady to those commitments that you make. I didn't swear. Progress, my friends. Hey, have a great week. Live always with Aloha. Peace. Multifamily Mindset. Podcast. Think bigger.